Hi guys, it's Yvonne here from Myrtle and Eve. Today we're going to learn how to work gimps around a shape, such as you might find in my Cecily pattern. So let's begin. To get started, I've already worked the ground up to the point that we're ready to add our gimp in. So when you're adding a gimp pair, got a pair prepared over here, you'll see, if we look at this pricking that I'm working on, that the gimp comes around this diamond shape. So to get started, I'm going to just borrow the top pin of the diamond and hang my gimp in there, just on a temporary pin. We'll be removing that later. Okay, so in torsion, usually the usual rule for working with gimps is that you have 2 twists before the gimp and 2 twists after the gimp. That can be different in different styles of lace, but we're going to do that today because we're working with torsion. I already have 2 twists in my pairs coming into the gimp area because I'm working in Dieppe, and that's one of the reasons it's one of my favorite stitches, especially to use in the ground when you are working a gimp, because the 2 twists are already there. But let's say, for example, you were working in whole stitch or half stitch, you just simply have to add an extra twist. Okay, so to pass our gimp through the pairs, we lift the left hand bobbin of the pair, we pass the gimp that we're working with through in between the pairs and put it back down, and then we add the 2 twists that we need for the other side. Now, because this gimp is coming around this shape, we need to pass this pair of the gimp through this pair here, so that we have our 2 pairs to begin the top of the diamond here. Okay, so let's do that. We lift the left pair of the bobbin, pass with the right through the pair and add the 2 twists. Now let's work this diamond in cloth stitch, shall we? So cross, twist, twist, and this is where we now remove the pin and put it back in again where the stitch goes as per usual, and that will hold everything in place. So we can close the pin. Now each time we need to bring another pair in to our diamond here, we pass the gimp through the pair. So lift the left, pass with the right. That's a good rule to remember. 2 twists, and now we can work our stitch. Okay, we need to add another pair on this side. So once again, lift with the left, pass with the right, put it down and add our 2 twists. And then on we go. Now you could have already passed all the pairs through first. I like to just do them one at a time so I don't get confused about which pairs are already being worked in the diamond. So that's up to you how you would like to do that. So we've already got 2 twists before, so we pass our gimp through, 2 twists after, work the stitch. Need to lengthen that a little. Okay, so we just keep passing pairs. Now, when we get to the point that the pairs start coming out of the diamond, 2 twists before, pass the gimp through, and 2 twists after, ready to go into the ground. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, one last pair to come in this side. Lift the left, pass with the right, 2 twists, work the stitch. Okay. And you can just give the gimp a gentle little tension occasionally to make sure it's all sitting right. Okay, so once again, this pair is ready to go out. You could do this all at the end. Like I say, I personally just prefer to do it now so I don't forget. Whoops, caught on some pins. Okay. So once we get to the final pinhole, we now have to pass a pair out either side of the gimp, like so. And then on the pricking here, you can see that our gimp crosses over. So it's literally just a cross, past the left gimp, over the right gimp. And now we need to work the ground here before we can work the next shape, but it's worked the same as this first one otherwise, so I'll just do that now. Okay, so I've worked the second diamond excuse me, the same as the first, and I've worked the ground down the sides, and so now we're ready to begin this flower shape. The first petal we work in exactly the same fashion, or much the same fashion, as our first two shapes. And then where the gimps double up here, there's different ways of approaching that. So let's do one on one side one way and one the other way to show you the difference. Okay, so, and I'll also just show you what it looks like if you did want to do this instead of what I showed you before, where you can pass all the pairs through at the same time. So lift and pass it through one more on this side. Okay, I'm going to work this shape in half stitch now, I think. Cross, twist, twist. Okay, so I'll just quickly work this diamond and then I'll show you what we're going to do with the gimp. So let's pass our gimps down the side. On this side, I'm going to put 2 twists after. And on this side, I'm not going to add the twists just yet. So we pass the gimp through by lifting the left, passing through from the right, but don't add the twist just yet. Then we do our cross as per usual in the middle. And to bring the gimp back up, sorry, you can't see the diagram very well. Okay, now the gimp has to travel back up to come around this petal, the side petals. Okay, so on this side, we're going to pass the gimp through, and now we'll add 2 twists. Okay, so by not putting 2 twists between the gimps passing next to each other, that allows them to sit nice and tight and close to each other. Just quickly work this diamond. Okay. We're done with that one. So 2 twists and out. Okay, I'll just leave that for the moment and we'll come and do this diamond first. Okay, so now you remember we added 2 twists after the gimp here, and then we pass the gimp through and we add 2 more twists. And what this does, and on this side, by not adding the twists between where the gimps pass, that allows the gimp threads to sit close together. By putting twists between, they'll sit a little bit separated. So it all depends what kind of an effect you're after as to which one of those you might choose to do. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and quickly finish this diamond now. Okay, so that's the diamond finished. All right, so again, we're going to pass the gimps around the outside. So lift the left, pass through with the right. And we have to come up the middle here again too, to come around our shape. Now on this side I was adding 2 twists between the gimps, so I'll put those in as I go. 2 twists, pass the gimp, add 2 twists. On this side I'm not going to do that, so I just pass the gimp, add 2 twists for where it comes out into the ground. But once I reach the point where it's in between the petals, we won't add those extra 2 twists. So you can see what happens. Okay, so now we have our 2 gimps need to cross over again. So literally left over right, cross. Okay, and now it starts to look a little bit messy, but once we get some pins in there, that's okay. It will start taking shape again. So we pass our first 2 pairs through and twist, 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 and we work that first pinhole there. Gently put that up, and now you can gently tension around that and the shape will hold a lot better, and it suddenly stops being so awkward. Okay, so we go ahead, and before we can finish the rest, we need to bring some pairs in. So on this side we haven't got, you'll see the pairs are not twisted here. We can twist them once they come inside, and on this side they are already twisted to create a gap between the gimps, but we still need to twist them again once they come inside our shape. In this case a diamond. So let's just do that diamond. Oops, I'm getting confused. Half stitch. Okay, cross twist. Okay, so let's end the gimp at this point to show you how that's done. So to do that, we pass the gimp through, no twists. Just passing it through at this point, and then put it down, put the left one down once we come to the middle, and we'll do the same on the right. Pass it through, no twists. Okay, now we're going to cross the gimps over, and we're going to pass it back up the other side. And this is why we don't want twists, because we want them to sit close together. So we can put our 2 twists in after that. And you want to pass it up for about 2 or 3 pairs is generally good to do that. So in this case I'll just do 3 because that's what we have here. Okay, so now we lay our gimps back like so. You can put a pin through the spangles to hold the bobbins out the way, and then you go ahead and work your ground. When you've finished, you can cut those just off, just neatly close to the work, and that's it. That's how you do those gimps. So I'll just go ahead and finish this and take it off the pillow so that we can look at some of those differences we made before. Okay, so I've taken the lace off the pillow, I've neatly trimmed my gimps, and let's have a look at the differences. Now remember, on the left side we were putting 2 twists between, and on the right side we left the twists off, and so you can see how the gimp threads sit next to each other and come tight, and on the left side there's a little gap. So it all depends what kind of an effect you're trying to go for which one you might choose to do. Want to learn how to make bobbin lace? Check out my beginner's course on my website. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe below.